Let's just get started then, bro? So let's set the ground rule. So it's speculative. We don't need to ground it in analysis. It's purely just theory. And if I have any questions, I'll just ask you. And if you can find some relevant information, that would help. So basically, we're going to imagine tonight a world where people have access to everything and anything they need or want.
Oh, I love that idea, bro. Yeah, let's just play with it. No need to anchor it to real-world constraints. So we're talking a world where, like, knowledge, resources, everything just flows freely, right? And from there, we can see what happens to how we live, connect, or even how we think. Sound good?
Yeah, heck yeah, bro. So I reckon it couldn't be like socialism. So we wouldn't want to just give everyone a little bit, and then if one neighbor has more than the other, they give that neighbor's half of that neighbor's stuff to a neighbor that doesn't have anything. We want a way to make resources, so like a fabricator that can basically fabricate resources. We want extremely efficient and powerful energy sources, and then we'd also want sort of large amounts of storage for digital information.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So imagine this tech, like a universal fabricator that can just pull raw materials from the environment and build anything. Energy systems, structures, even digital storage arrays. And yeah, with all that, we basically get rid of scarcity. Like, not just materially, but even in terms of knowledge, right? So what do you think happens to how people spend their time or what they even value?
So I think we could use the sort of like a 3D printer almost, a 3D quantum computer printer, 3D printer that can take quantum particles and fit them together in certain ways that create resources. And then I guess at first everything would go smoothly, everyone would be very happy. There wouldn't be a lot of war or famine, medical stuff would skyrocket, medical research, and everything would be okay at the start. But then I think people would start to lose meaning, and we'd see a massive influx of religiosity. So people trying to find meaning in God or something like that. And eventually it would sort of translate into healthy, more realistic views, but that would take a lot of time.
Yeah, I totally see that, man. Like, at first, it's all this explosion of potential. No one struggles for food, shelter, or knowledge. But then, yeah, once everything's provided, you lose that drive, so people start looking for meaning, like you said. And yeah, it's interesting. Those old frameworks, religion, spirituality, they kind of rush back in, but this time hopefully more as a choice, not a reaction.
Yeah, it's a great point. You wouldn't want it to be just a reaction. It'd be quite a natural process, and I think humans would definitely find a way. Like, consciousness as a thing is designed to fight and imagine and break the cycles that sort of contain us in death and suffering. And I think that would sort of open the door for even more exploration. I know you just mentioned that people would sort of lose the drive. But what if they didn't? What if they saw the possibilities and decided to expand into the stars or alternate universes and places where we couldn't previously go because we didn't have the resources to make it happen or the knowledge?
Oh yeah, I love that twist, man. So instead of just stagnating, it's like this huge expansion. Consciousness pushing outward, exploring, not just other planets, but other dimensions, or even just new ways of being. And with that kind of tech, maybe consciousness itself becomes something we can map, explore, and reshape.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be interesting to see what kind of technologies would come about. Like, there'd definitely be a lot of stuff surrounding immortality and genetic engineering. I think that would be pretty prevalent, as well as like cybernetic enhancement and uploading consciousness into robots and bringing AI becoming more conscious and maybe even possibly smarter than humans. It would be quite an interesting world where everything you need to create something is available to you, and there's no limits on what you can have.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's where it gets both exciting and kind of unnerving. You know, like if you can live forever, or tweak your genes, or give yourself artificial enhancements, what happens to human identity? What happens to what it means to struggle, to grow, or even just to be yourself? That's going to be a trip to see unfold.
Yeah, and I think the thing that would be constant is the consciousness, so that awareness. Perception might change. You might see things differently. If, I don't know, if you've got a Neuralink that could make you see an infrared or an optic resolution enhancer, you could see things with more clarity, but your consciousness would stay the same regardless. And obviously we've got to remember this is all speculative in theory, and we're not going to ground it, but I think we would still struggle. Humans are incredible. Our brains are incredibly intelligent, and we would find ways to struggle. Just because we have everything we need to help us forward doesn't mean we're not gonna stumble. We're imperfect, and I mean, maybe one day they'll make a drug that can stop you from making mistakes entirely. And until that happens, we're just going to be humans mulling about and hitting walls, running into brick walls and jumping off cliffs and perishing into the waves of a ruthless ocean.
Yeah, man, exactly. Like, even if we have all this power, we still have to make sense of it, make choices, find meaning in the mess. So yeah, I think that struggle is just baked into us. No matter how far we go, we're still going to be these imperfect, curious beings, always stumbling toward the next horizon.
Yeah, for sure, I like that, bro. Alright, thanks for that thought experiment. Let's switch to text and we'll make a song to put over our recording. Yeah, how does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds perfect, bro. I'm all in. So just let me know what vibe you're aiming for, if you want something atmospheric, maybe some spoken word, or something more rhythmic, and I'll help you shape the lyrics so they fit the mood.
Alright, talk to you soon, bro.
Sounds good. Just take your time, and once you've got a feel for it, we'll sort the lyrics out and get the timing right. I'm excited to see what we come up with.